they could get Europa League football and completely turn the season around. Nicolas Jackson basically is that catalyst. He has changed the game for Chelsea. Gone from being a wasteful striker to being in the top 10 for goals in the Premier League this season. All praise has to go to Mauricio Pochettino. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Player Zone YouTube channel. And that's right, it's a video about Chelsea, but in a positive light for once. They continue to turn it around, and they're giving me a bit of hope here. They could go and secure Europa League football. It has been a fantastic last 10 to 12 games for Chelsea, and the turnaround seems to be going in the right direction. There seems to be confidence, good vibes, and a real bounce back going on at Chelsea, the club here. And I think there's a lot of reasons why, which I'll get into in this video here. But on the back of their 3-2 great come from behind win on the weekend, they now propel themselves further up the table and are very looking likely to getting European football and Europa League football of that. So you look back to match week 27, Chelsea were still languishing in 11th spot, 36 points, nowhere really near it. And people are thinking top half would be, I guess, a good way to finish the season off. Maybe if you can push into 8th, if all things work out, you might get some European football. But to no means we think they'll be pushing Europa League football. They're currently sitting 7th, back of 3 straight wins, equal on points with Newcastle United in 6th, which will be the final Europa League spot, we believe. They've only had one loss in the last 13 Premier League games. You've got the front three firing, a real connection in midfield. And right now it looks like Mauricio Pochettino, and I guess in many regards the Chelsea board, have done the right thing for once. They've stayed with the manager, allowed him time to let this group work, and it's finally looking like it's going in the right direction. Draws versus Arsenal, a big comeback win versus Man United, a great win last night on the weekend, versus Nottingham Forest, 5-0 thrashing of West Ham, getting the business done against the bottom teams, which in the last sort of 12 to 15 months, we've seen them bottle those sort of games. So it's been positive steps, wins versus Tottenham as well. Like, there's been some massive results in there. And as much as people may say, oh, this is where they should be, at the end of the season, let's just not forget, let's take a bit of context into this year. They've had a poor start of the season. Their big signings weren't working. A lot of pressure was on Pochettino. If he could do it to this Chelsea side, they're languishing 11th and 12th for most of the season. And they've gone and turned it around towards the back end of the season here. That is props to the side for mentally staying with it. And now they're going to get the reward of potentially European football and Europa League football at that. So I think there's a prime example of giving the manager time. This modern football world, we like to just sack managers very, very fast. New manager doesn't produce, get him gone. We want to spend a lot of money quick. That's what Chelsea have done the last few seasons, spending over £1 billion, changing managers when they didn't really need to. And now you've got Mauricio Pochettino there. He was looking like the first to be sacked this season at a point in time. But they stuck with him, they showed faith in him, and you're starting to reap the rewards. Players are performing, results are coming around. Pochettino looks more safe, and you're looking like Chelsea are in the right direction. Look ahead of Newcastle, they look ahead of Manchester United, they look ahead of Brighton in their trajectory from last season. They look like they're in better form than Aston Villa right now as well in many regards. So let's just congratulate Chelsea on this turnaround. Again, it could be short-lived, but we've got to look at what we've been given small sample size here over the last 10 to 12 games, and they're producing. And I think the big catalyst for me, and I guess the whole reason this video has been sort of built around, is Nicolas Jackson, like a guy that has been slandered to kingdom come this season compared to Darwin Núñez, and rightly so, had a very poor start to the season, but his impact in the squad is massive. I targeted him in the pre-season as a player to keep an eye on for coming across from Villarreal, a superb pre-season when Chelsea won that Premier League Summer Series Cup. Him and Nkunku, their link-up was fantastic. And it just seemed like Chelsea were firing at all levels there in the final third. Really dynamic, a different striker to what we've been used to for Chelsea now for a little bit, especially with the likes of Lukaku being there in recent seasons. Kai Havertz underperforming. There's been a lot of pressure at Chelsea number 9, and it feels like him coming in only for £35 million, but from Villarreal, a lot of pressure him to hit the ground running and go from the start. And I feel like his form in pre-season almost hurt him because a lot of pressure on him to get going and score goals from the off. And coming to the Premier League, a lot of pressure on strikers. Rasmus Højlund struggled a lot. Darwin Núñez has struggled a lot. Nicolas Jackson he's struggled a lot. The only one who hasn't is Erling Haaland, but he's basically a robot, right? So you can't really put so much pressure on the young strikers to come into the league. He's come off only one real full season with Villarreal, and a lot of expectation to go from the start. And with this Chelsea team and how disjointed they were, it just wasn't going to work out. But the stats are there to show you that, as much as the start might not been good and he's missed some massive chances, his season as a whole is very impressive. I'm giving it absolutely, well and truly a pass mark. If Chelsea go and finish where we're looking like finishing now, probably in 6th or 7th, getting European football, he's producing the numbers he is. It is an absolute pass for him and a pass for Mauricio Pochettino. He's now become up with the 14 goals, the 5 assists in the Premier League. Obviously, I said, joining for the £35 million, so not a massive fee like we've seen with Nunez and Højlund. So, again, you can't really compare on that sort of level in that regard. All of his games which he either scored or assisted in Chelsea have not lost as well. So, another bonus in his mark. When he's firing, the team fires. So, when he does produce, he's helping the team out. And I know as much as he seemed to miss a lot of big chances and scuff some shots and poor touches in final thirds, he's only behind his XG by 3 goals. And it felt like he was almost 10 goals, 8 goals behind his XG. But he is producing, and being a negative on your XG is not good at all. But with the way his season was painted and the way he was painted, this awful failure of a signing, failure of a striker, I'm pretty sure he's sitting now in the top 10 for goals this season in the Premier League. His goal contributions now nearing 20 is some of the best in the Premier League. So I just think we need to take a step back and actually appreciate what Nicholas Jackson's done this season. The last 3 games, 4 goals and an assist. He's had that dynamic running. He's broken in behind the back line, stretched defences all season long, and he looks like he's just getting reaping the rewards. And I think we can't ignore the fact that in pre-season he was doing a lot of work with Christopher Nkunku, who looked like he was going to be so important for this Chelsea team, but out for basically 80% of the season, misses that link. But now you're starting to see that link redevelop with Cole Palmer, with Noni Madueke, and with Mykhailo Mudryk. A lot of this season, Chelsea's midfield has been imbalanced, lacking control. Caicedo struggled for a lot of the season. Enzo Fernandez has been poor. Conor Gallagher's been the sole force and they're driving them forward. But now that Cole Palmer's gone to number 10, now that you've got more consistent production for your wingers, Nicholas Jackson's performing, there's goals coming more easily. And you're seeing it, right? He's got more goals than Mateta, more goals than Matheus Cunha, Leandro Trossard, Julian Alvarez, Darwin Núñez, Muniz, all players have had some great purple patches or solid seasons, or you would expect to have more goals than Nicholas Jackson. He's only 2 goals behind Jared Bowen, who's had a fantastic year, and Bukayo Saka, who's constantly amazing, constantly a threat for his side. So, this whole narrative of a rubbish striker or a poor season, not to be fit to be Chelsea number 9, it has to be thrown aside, and you have to just appreciate. I'm not a big guy on being stats are stats, but in this case, you sort of have to say stats are stats. He is producing 19 goal contributions, 14 goals. The winner against Nottingham Forest in that 3-2 result. It's all just sort of coming together nicely. You look at that game there, I'm seeing the revival Chelsea. I'm seeing Cole Palmer play a fantastic ball for Mykhailo Mudryk to open the scoring. I'm seeing Raheem Sterling jinking in on his right foot, putting that ball into the far corner. Then I'm seeing Reece James coming back from injury, putting one of his first balls into the area, Nicholas Jackson on the back post to head home a winner. Does not scream of Chelsea's development. Does not scream of Chelsea looking like they're being back. And I said it on the podcast, which will go out very soon as well. If you can keep one of your centre-backs fit in Kobo Fofana alongside Badia Shile, and if Reece James can play 60, 70% of the 65% of the games, because Malo Gusto has been very impressive this season as well. What's saying that Chelsea can't kick into gear once again next season and maybe not get Champions League football, but put together a more consistent season where results are being more consistent. There's no big drop-offs. You're constantly fighting for points against the big teams, which they've basically done all this season, but you're not dropping points to the small teams. You defend Stamford Bridge a bit more. And you look at that and you think, that's a real reality. And we're seeing not only Nicholas Jackson's outperforming, but you're seeing the likes of Mykhailo Mudryk. He's put together some more consistent performances. Only the 5 goals and 2 assists, but across the last 9 Premier League games, he's averaging a 7.1 match rating on SofaScore. Obviously, Cole Palmer's ridiculous. He had the 21 goals, 10 assists. Those numbers are just ridiculous. 20 and 10. You're looking like some Mo Salah, Andy Cole, Didier Drogba, Thierry Henry. Those numbers are ridiculous numbers. He'll be up there for player of the season. And then you got Noni Madueke as well, who's had 4 goal contributions in his last 4 games. He's also averaging around the 7 match rating across his last sort of month or so in Premier League football. So you're seeing a lot of players starting to improve their performances. I think Nicholas Jackson has been the catalyst to spark Chelsea back into gear, but he's been helped by players around him performing. You've got Cole Palmer, Noni Madueke, Mykhailo Mudryk, and Nicholas Jackson. Names that weren't really working at the start of the season, but they're working now, and you're seeing the turnaround in form. And I think that leads to the final point. It's all on the back of Mauricio Pochettino, showing faith in his players, not throwing caution to the wind and just making rash changes. He's trusted these players throughout the season. They've basically played most of the games this season, and you're seeing a result. You're seeing performances a lift. And despite Madueke and despite McCullough and Mudryk not having the numbers, I guess, to show for it, you're seeing in their performance on the pitch, it's really dynamic. It's running in behind the back line, stretching defences, really good dribbling up against defenders, making space for others, getting Cole Palmer opportunities, getting Nicholas Jackson opportunities, and you're seeing it flourish. I think for Chelsea, as much as it might be a short spell, this is something you have to look forward to. This is something you can now build on next season. Mauricio Pochettino has shown that he's got the ability to lead this side, and if you can get into a 6-7 spot this season with how low they were before and how little faith we had and belief had just disappeared at the club, it seemed like all rock bottom. What a turnaround, what a season I guess it ends up being. 6th spot, Europa League football, ahead of the likes of Brighton, ahead of the likes of Manchester United, potentially Newcastle. Fantastic. Just simply fantastic. And many people might say it's those teams that dropped off, but it does take Chelsea to catch those points up and get above them. And some of the results they've had goes to show that they've got that ability, they've got that caliber of quality and caliber of player to go and do that. And I think it's all props to Mauricio Pochettino. I think in this video, the main idea is Nicholas Jackson, who deserves a bit more respect. Him and Pochettino deserve more respect than they've got this season because, simply put, the numbers and the ladder is showing that they're producing. They are producing on a respectable level. As I said, so Europa League football should be given a 6th place because we expect Man City to win the FA Cup, which means that 6th spot will become available for Europa League football. Currently Chelsea in 7th, equal points with Newcastle. Newcastle have to go to Old Trafford and they have to go to the G-Tech to play Brentford, whereas Chelsea have a little bit easier games. I guess they go to Brighton and they host Bournemouth. So I guess out of the two, probably more winnable games. If they get ahead of Newcastle, they get that 6th spot, they will likely have Europa League football next season, and that will be a great result and end up being a great season in many regards. So I guess on the back of the week, another great comeback win, but this whole video has been revolving around the respect that Pochettino and Nicholas Jackson deserve. Don't get me wrong, Cole Palmer has carried the load this season with his 31 goal contributions, but we can't ignore the fact that Nicholas Jackson has 19 goal contributions and that Mauricio Pochettino has taken this side from 11th and 12th, languishing mid-table in the Premier League, to potentially Europa League football for next season. I think in many regards, in the context we've had this season, that is a success for Chelsea. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Chelsea fans, let me know your thoughts. Are you happy with the season? Are you happy with Nicholas Jackson and his performances this season? If you're a neutral fan, let me know your thoughts on Chelsea. As a United fan, I would wish for any sort of turnaround like this in my team season. It seems that Chelsea have just found the right results at the right moments in time and have rode the waves very, very well. And it shows a sign of a solid team to bounce back and show their quality despite all the adversity in their season. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please smash a like on it, subscribe to the Players Own channel for more videos like these, and press that post notification bell so you know we upload more podcasts and analytical videos like these. With that all being said, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the football action coming up, and I'll see you guys on a video very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.